Mengapa tonya ratan api cinta di hatiku, membakar jiwa yang merana.
Hey, what's up, Chill Pills? I'm back with episode 8. We are nearing the end. I thank you for your patience. Sorry it took a little while for me to upload this episode. Had a lot going on, and now that I'm on the other side of that, want to drop in, give you episode 8. Things are coming to a conclusion. We are still waiting to find out how Mari handles her problem. I do want to let you know that there is some merch that you can now purchase. The link is in the bio. And without further ado, I'll get back to that later. Here's Monster Killah, episode 8. When Dizzle arrived, she wasn't alone. We hugged and then she introduced her friends. Chalk, Nina, Zoe, and Lola had all known Dizzle since she first hit the streets of Atlanta. They had tormented her for months before realizing how tough the little girl was and taking her under their wings. All of them had their own style, but you could see that their bond was unbreakable. Dizzle pulled me to the side to explain why she had brought them there. "Me think long and hard about your situation, Sistren. For long nights. Sometimes I cry, but mostly I just ruminate on the way to make this happen for you. This bumbleclad, rascalad, dirty, duppy man is a problem, and if nothing can be done to him by you, then we for come and dead him, see?" I understood what she was saying, but my other plan was looking better every moment. The more degrees of separation, the better. These chicks seemed like riders, and if they were willing to execute on Dizzle's word, their seduction would be too easy. We sat, and I told Dizzle that I had another plan I wanted to run by her. Before I began, I let her know that the plan was rough, and I would appreciate any feedback or concerns. I also let her know that Deep had pretty much came to the same conclusion and assured me that Prime wouldn't suspect this, not from me. "We are going to have to take a trip," I started. As I filled her in on the plan, Trinidad brought drinks down for us all. We continued to chop it up. I described Prime in detail, likes, dislikes. I pointed out which one would be most likely to catch Prime's eye. Actually, though, all of them would. He was that type of dude, and they were all beautiful in their own way. The only problem was that Lola looked like we could be sisters. I never met her before in my life. I wanted her to lay low, but then I thought that may be a good thing after all. I had all the ladies write down their names and birthdays so I could book their flights. We had decided to call it our annual girls' vacation. We may do this every year. I was beaming. This was all coming together. Later that night over dinner, Deep, Dizzle, Trini, and I fleshed out the details. What made this idea more difficult was that it hinged on Prime taking the bait. This also made the timeline very hard to finalize. All we could do was lay out the steps and build from there. The hardest decision I've ever had to make was deciding Prime's fate. Even though I have wavered about wanting him dead from the onset of the drama, really from the first time he shoved me, I hadn't resigned myself to killing him or even being a catalyst. I had to forget all the times he had whispered, "I love you," in my ear. I had to put my feelings, fading as they were, to the side. The first thing I needed to do was find out if Prime was in the city. Prime's mother and father abandoned him when he was 9. His mom left first, leaving a young Prime alone with a workaholic alcoholic. When he wasn't at work, he was at home, belligerently raising a young boy. If it wasn't for school, Prime might have died within the first year of his mom's departure. His dad finally gave up trying to cope with his issues and be a parent. He split and never returned. It was his father's brother who came to pick up young Prime the summer before he turned 10. Prime didn't blame his father, but hated his mom. He would rarely talk about her. Knowing this only made me feel like Prime could be anywhere. If he wanted to disappear, he had the means to do so. He could easily pay someone to stalk and harass me in his absence. I needed some info, but I couldn't call myself, of course. I knew just who to call. I excused myself and made my way outside to a small garden that was just off the patio outside the kitchen door, not too far from where I collapsed on the ground where Trinidad had found me, saved me from drowning in my own sadness. Thoughts of Trini brought a slow smile to my face. His hands and mine made my heart flutter. I could not deny this fact. I could not deny that he made me tingle all over with just a look. As much as I have going on in my life, I often find my thoughts drifting to him, wondering what he is doing, if he is thinking of me. I know I am in love with him, or strong like. I think he feels the same, but does it matter? We live 800 miles apart most of the time. Can anything come of us? I shook my head. I was in a daze, basking in the setting sun, perched in this beautiful garden. I felt eyes on me. I turned and looked over my shoulder, and Trinidad came into view. Not in my mind, but in the flesh. He breathed my name, and my heart wept. He appeared as if he'd felt me thinking of him. I turned my gaze back towards the sunset. His footfalls were muffled by the grass, but the occasional snaps of twigs drawing closer let me know he wasn't far. He paused. I didn't move, but I was vibrating with want. I wanted him to touch me, kiss me softly as he had before. He sat next to me, the hairs on our arms barely touching. The air became heavy with unspoken words. He sighed. I turned towards him with an expectant look on my face. When his gaze met mine, he blushed, then fully smiled. Lacey, every time I see you, I want to kiss you, and I haven't figured out what to do about that. Why don't you know what to do? You could just kiss me, you know, I replied quietly. He hesitated, contemplating. I spoke again. I want to be held by you every time I am near you. I want to kiss you and love you in every lifetime. I am I'm so afraid that I trailed off, not wanting to speak the negative thoughts that whispered to me. Trinidad grabbed my hand and rubbed it gently with his thumb. I hadn't wanted to add any more problems to your already complicated life, Lacey. You deserve so much, and I want to give all of that to you. What we will share would not be a passing phase or a one night stand. I must be certain that you are ready. I am more than willing to wait until this is all over, until you are able to give yourself to me without worry. I want to alleviate all your worries, but I cannot do that until this chapter in your life is closed. I breathed deeply. I let my chin fall to my chest. Then I felt his fingers there lightly, lifting my head gently. He leaned over and kissed my cheek, my neck, and then raised my hand to his lips. Each kiss as gentle as the first. I melted into the bench with each kiss, my body wanting to feel him all over me. He kissed my ear and whispered something softly. I nodded yes, and continued to nod as he stood to leave, letting go of my hand reluctantly. The sun had slipped behind the Georgia mountains, taking with it the warmth as Trinidad retreated into the house with his warmth as well. I pulled out my phone and prepared to do what I'd come out here to do. Trinidad would wait. Hello? The voice was calm and curious. Vivian had grown so much since I'd last seen her. I announced myself, and after her excited squeals and barrage of questions quieted down, I explained the reason for my call. Before she agreed to do it, she made me promise to come visit as soon as I could. I nodded, although we weren't on a face call. I sighed. I wanted to see her too, to catch up, laugh, and truly relax. I felt as safe with her family as I did with Deep and this motley crew. I needed to get back inside. I trusted her to call my mom and ask the right questions. Again, playing the role of the concerned friend. I would check in tomorrow. It was easy to carry on this life. The only people I spoke to are those that I met after I left my home 3 months ago. I could be myself as long as no one knew who I truly was. That was the other thing with Trinidad. I have to tell him that I lied, even though I had a good reason in the beginning. I didn't have to keep it up. I could have told him my identity. I could have at least let him know that Lacey wasn't my real name. I hope that he understands. I needed him to. I'd have to find out later, though, when I'm done with prom. Hey, y'all. Thanks again for listening to episode 8 of Monster Killah by yours truly, Chill Pills. Guess what? I got merch for y'all. So if y'all go to the link in the bio and just click and buy something, I even got stickers. It's something on there for your budget. So, and if you can't do that, just make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe so that YouTube knows that we here and that you guys are loving what I do. I appreciate you again. Y'all are my fam. And I will see you the next episode. Thanks.